What better way to start your day than being assaulted with love from your friendly neighborhood dog? That's literally what just happened to me before I started this video. Random dog, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful boy, came running out to me out of nowhere. Gave me all the love. His owner was pissed because he had to chase after it, but I don't really care. I was happy to see a dog. But that's not what I want to talk about here. I want to talk about how I turned down a $50,000 job and how that was one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. Let me explain. First, hi, I'm Liv. I am a health and life coach, currently getting my certification so I can be official. But yeah, we need to talk about something. And it all starts when I left my job for the 50 millionth time. Like, I'm not even kidding. So basically, I was a case manager at a methadone clinic. That's already a mouthful. But literally day one, and I didn't realize this at the time, but day one, my body rejected this job. Like, I quite literally got violently sick before I went to the job. On day one of the job, puked in the bathroom, tried my hardest to stay, but I was like, I can't. I literally can't be here day one puking in the bathroom, and I felt horrible, but I had to go home. But I think that was my body's way of telling me to get the hell out of there, and I just didn't listen for like 3 months. Anyway, but it's like the longer I stayed at that job, the more sick I got. Like, I was just progressively getting more and more mentally sick, physically ill. Like, I was just a hot mess. I was a hot mess. And it was not, by the way, just to give you a visual, my office, I've never had my own office at a job, by the way. So I was like really excited about that. It was a windowless office, pretty much the size of like a medium closet. And yeah, it was not meant for human beings, but I had my own office. Like, a win is a win. And I decorated it, and it was all pretty, and I got so many compliments. I'm like, yeah, I know how to set a vibe, obviously. But it's like, no matter how much I tried to make the job work, it just, my felt like my soul was dying. Not to sound all dramatic, but like, that's how it was. Like, my soul was quite literally dying. And I just kept fighting against it. I just fought against it because I was like, what am I going to do? Leave this job again to find another job that they're basically all the same at this point. Like, it's like you kind of have to choose the lesser of the evils, but they're kind of all evil. So it's kind of, there really is no choice. But anyway, my point is, I was just dying on the inside, and I was spiraling into a very deep, deep depression. And I was starting to be someone I didn't want to be. I was starting to go back to those dark places I fought so hard to get out of. And that's pretty much how I really knew I had to get out of there. I didn't really care how illogical it sounded or kind of felt. I just knew intuitively I had to get out of there. So I made a hard decision, and I left my job again. Well, I started out with taking some time off, and then I quit. But yeah, it's like the moment I actually left the job, I was just like, I could breathe again. And I needed that. And then I kind of took way too much advantage of that. And yeah. But the thing is, I needed the break. I needed to just not be okay. I needed to just not be productive and do routines and just do whatever and day drink. I day drink a lot. But yeah, I kind of just needed the time to just not be okay. I I needed to unfortunately spiral to just get myself to I kind of had to allow myself to reach a rock bottom again. That's how it is. That's what it was. But it's like after a while, yeah, it felt good to allow myself to just breathe and be. But then I was doing it for too long, and then it became way too uncomfortable because I after a while allowing myself to just not be okay was just like it felt icky. It felt like what am I doing? Because I knew better. I knew I could be doing better. I had so much time. I was unemployed. I had all the time in the world, and I'm not doing anything. I'm not pursuing the things I want to be doing. It's like I couldn't even use the fact that I have a job as an excuse anymore to not be doing pursuing my goals or recording my podcast or making my content or videos. What like and then that's when it really hit me. It's like who are you? What do you do? You have all the time in the world and you're still not doing this? That was a hard blow to my ego. But I needed that. I needed that. And I was grateful for that. It felt horrible. I felt horrible. But I got to a place of awareness and I had to experience fully what I didn't want in my life. What I didn't want. There was no routine, super unproductive, sleeping late, um, eating like absolute crap, not moving my body, not exercising, not really doing much, smoking all the ganja in the world. Um, yeah, I was a hot mess, but that allowed me to fully embrace going to that dark place again, allowed me to fully embrace and embody what I actually do want in my life. What I actually, so, eventually, once I got to that place and I went through the icky, uncomfortable feelings and worked through that, I got my ish together and I've reset my life and I took it one day at a time. You don't have to make these major changes overnight because one, that's going to shock your system and your body and your brain's going to be like, what are you doing? Like, no, don't do that. Just start slow. But basically, I just started slow. I took it one day at a time. I made small, consistent changes that I actually wanted to do. I cut back on the smoking. I cut back on the devil's lettuce, the Mary Jane, whatever you want to call it. I woke up earlier. I went on daily morning walks, moved my body, got more movement, started exercising more, drink more water, read more books. I have so many books I have not read through. It's insane, but now I have an excuse to read them because I want to. I took longer breaks from scrolling on my phone, social media. Basically, essentially, just cut out all the distractions that were not serving me. And it's not to say that I don't smoke anymore. I do. It's not to say I don't scroll on my phone for smaller amounts of time. Like duality. Life is truly about balance. It's not about restricting yourself. It's not about doing things you really don't want to do because you know you have to do it and then just never rewarding yourself. It's about having that healthy balance that you can maintain and sustain that actually serves you. So once I went through that and I was like, all right, I felt a lot better. I felt so much better. And then that led me to going on a lot of job interviews because like I need money. I needed to support myself, obviously. And going on a whole bunch of job interviews led me to having two really high job prospects. One of the jobs I really, really wanted, and the other one was higher paying and it was more in alignment with what I wanted to be doing, but it would have been a lot more stressful and mentally taxing. But it was more money. So logically I was like, oh, well, I should probably take the job that has more money. Like, duh. But the job that I actually really wanted, they eventually didn't want me and they rejected me, offered the job to someone else. I definitely cried a little bit because I got a little too excited and got a little too hopeful, and it's okay. I felt my feels and I allowed myself to be upset. But then the job that I didn't necessarily want, because I knew it was going to be harder um on me, like, to just deal with mentally, it would have been a lot more of a, it just wouldn't have been healthy. It wouldn't have been the healthier choice. It would have been more money. They wanted me. They thought I was perfect for the role. But in my gut, intuitively, I was like, this doesn't feel right. Like, even though logically it felt right, because more money, but like intuitively, it was like, I shouldn't take this job. And it felt weird to not want a higher paying job. And I'm like, why? This doesn't, this is confusing. Why am I feeling so hesitant to take a logically, a job that just makes more sense logically? But I was like, after that, I couldn't ignore my intuition because that never led to good things. So, as terrifying as this decision was to make, I said no. And I turned down that job. They were going to offer me money. And $50,000 is like a whole ton of money, especially in this world. But it's better than nothing. It's better than being unemployed. And I still said no. Because I knew it wasn't right for me. And I didn't need anyone to understand that. I knew, me, I knew that it was a wrong decision for me. Intuitively. It's not like I was afraid to know. Intuitively, in my gut, I knew it was the wrong decision. So in the moment I said no and I told them that I turned down the offer, instant relief. It felt both terrifying to say no, but it also felt amazing. It felt like I made the right decision. I knew I made the right decision the moment I said no. I knew it. And ever since I turned down that job, I my life has been so much better. My life has been so much better. I've been consistent with the healthier habits that I started a month ago. I've actually am still doing it. I'm still doing it. My routine has gotten so much more, oh, it just feels so good. I feel lighter. I feel my therapist, who I was seeing on a weekly basis, was like, why are you even talking to me right now? You're doing fine. You're doing amazing. Like that's literally what she said. And I love her. Oh my gosh, I love my therapist. Seriously. But it's like in the midst of all the uncertainty, I couldn't feel more grateful and at peace. And it's a beautiful feeling. The amount of gratitude I have, it's such a beautiful feeling. It makes me want to cry. Like, it really does. Tears are honestly welling up in my eyes right now, but I'm not about to cry because I just did my makeup. But the amount of gratitude I feel for just being in alignment to where I need to be, it feels incredible. And I want that for all of you. I really want that for all of you. I want to see every single one of you win. I want to see every single one of you reach your potential. and I will gladly help you get there. I will. I love you guys.